an increasing amount of contamination in natural air and water supplies is dramatically affecting the average life expectancy of humans all over the planet. The catastrophic effect that pollution has had on our planet is tremendous and, in most cases, irreversible.
Hello and welcome to this video chat with GM Finney Productions. We're currently in lockdown, so we're going to chat to the guys about what they've been getting up to and how they've been keeping sane and what's been the major changes they've been dealing with so far. My name is Oli Page. I write a creative people's blog in Leicester about individuals and their stories and what they're doing. So we're going to have a chat today about GM Finney Productions for their YouTube channel.
I'm Glenn. I'm the director of GM Finney Productions.
I'm Kelly McCormack. I'm producer for GM Finney Productions.
I'm Mick. I do lighting and sort of gaffer duties for GM Finney Productions as well.
Yeah, I'm Phil. I do audio, music and audio stuff.
Fantastic. Well, I've had the pleasure of being on a GM Finney set, which is amazing. It's really great to work with all of you guys before when I was an extra. It was really, really fun. I could kind of see firsthand about how you guys get on and how well you work together. So it'd be really fascinating to see what you guys have got to say. So first up, how has everyone been dealing with lockdown? How's lockdown been for you?
Great. Absolutely great. I mean, obviously it's a testing time for humanity at the minute, but as a creative person, it's been brilliant. So much time to crack on.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, Glenn.
I'm really not, no. I'm being sincere, yeah. That was genuine, yeah.
No, but it is useful, isn't it? Because you've got more time, especially if everything's on. Well, most of the stuff we can send online now, so it's actually really, really useful to catch up. Yeah, there's the amount of stuff I was behind on before this happened. You know.
100%.
It's helped.
I mean, I think I'd probably disagree, and I would probably say it's the total opposite of that. I think for people who, depending on your circumstances, you might have more time, but I think because of the situation with schools and nurseries and things like that, and then the kind of expectation to work from home for a lot of people. In fact, I think a lot of people are finding the complete opposite, where they've got no time whatsoever, and I know that's how I am at the moment. And it's kind of just trying to find little snippets of time where you can kind of do something to sort of scratch that itch can be almost impossible. And it can be quite a difficult thing to kind of handle as well, I think, sometimes, because you do get this kind of overriding thing of, oh, I should be doing so much, I should have so much time, when really you haven't got any. So, I think it's very different for lots of different people, I think.
And finally, Kelly?
Same. I think when
two conflicting views there. Yeah, I can't say the same.
Somewhere in the middle.
Well, no, yeah, kind of in the middle. Like when lockdown happened, I think obviously everyone turned to like online channels and stuff, and online channels just got a bit of an influx of people trying to be creative kind of instantly. With all these like kind of film festivals and film, whatever going on, that your motivation was there, but then also if you rushed it, you got tired quite quickly at being creative. And so the more, I think I found it better just taking time, thinking things through, and not doing what everyone else is doing, just kind of cracking on with our own thing and really thinking about the decisions that we're going to make now we've got some time to make them in.
Yeah, definitely. I think you guys are totally right in that everyone's kind of handling things differently and everyone's going at their own pace. That's really exciting. So when you've been able to, what have you guys been doing to keep yourself creative during this time?
During the first, I think it was the first week or two, I decided to start a little film festival thing online to create a 5-minute film or less within a week, I think it was. Or no, sorry, it was 3 days, I think it was. And I did one, Kelly did one, Phil did one, Tommy did one. Micky let us down, but a few other people chipped in as well, so it got a bit of a community going along and bringing us all together at this tough time. and just putting our creative sort of uses to good use. So yeah, I thought that was a good challenge.
Yeah, we also redid the website, which was nice. And it was something that
has
thank you,
been
on
guys.
the back burner, maybe been on the back burner for a while. So that feels like we were quite creative with that and quite productive with that.
And Phil?
Well, I've just been doing stuff with everything you can think of, like stuff with the band, because I've been off work, luckily. So I literally hit the gold mine. So I did all the music and had audio for Project 444, the new GM Finney production.
We may have, we may have lost Phil there.
He's gone.
No, hopefully Phil will be able to rejoin us in a second. But whilst we're waiting for Phil, Micky, you talked about how you've not got too much time on your hands. So how have you kind of eked out any little morsels of creativity?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what I've found is because there is those kind of constraints on time, and it's a real departure from kind of how things were before. It's, for me especially, it's been about trying to find different bits. So especially through like my normal day job that I've been doing, trying to find bits of that I can perhaps bring in some of what we do into that, and you know, sort of try and, you know, just things like small video production and that kind of thing, just to try and keep your hand in a bit and keep going with it, really, because otherwise it can be quite disheartening, like if you have to just kind of put that side of things completely to bed and only concentrate on other things. So yeah, it's about trying to find opportunities wherever I've been able to, really. And I think that's it. And then it's you know, by doing that, you don't sort of fall into that pit of oh no, it's all just work and no play kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of how I've been approaching it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like we said with the previous question, it is all about individual circumstance a lot of the time, and just kind of finding what you can do. So we talked about some personal kind of stories there, but about GM Finney on a wider scale, how has lockdown affected production on some of your films that you've been working on?
So we had to postpone all dates for the feature for Dustman because it was the safest thing to do. At the beginning, we were kind of going to try it a little bit, I think, but it wasn't needed, and there was no kind of massive push on it, so it would have been putting people at risk, and we don't want to do that. I was supposed to have an event at the beginning of May called Leicester Short Film Gala, where we were going to premiere two projects, which was Murder and Project 444, and obviously everything went up a bit in the air, and we weren't sure when the event was going to run, and if it was postponed, whether it would run again. And it just meant that the release, because these films haven't been released, the release of these films was just getting pushed further and further back, and it was you almost talk about 2021 if you were going to wait for this event. And I think Glenn was, I think we were all kind of in the same mindset that there was no point in waiting, really. So Glenn will talk a little bit more about Project 444, I'm sure, but Murder is now started to do the festival circuit, and I don't think that would have done it at this time had kind of coronavirus not happened. I think it would have been a while off. So yeah, so there's been some definite halts on production, but then where we've halted a production, other ones have kind of excelled.
From my experience, I've been off work for about 2 months, and I've just constantly been working on the Project 444, which you can see behind there. And today I finally finished it. But yeah, I mean, it's just the months that I've had off is just perfecting it. You know, doing stuff that I never would have thought of doing had we had worked to the timescale that we had originally. So I think it is a blessing in disguise, but also it is halting other productions.
Yeah, and so tell me a bit more about Project 444. You said you've now finished, everything's wrapped. So what's the plan for it now? Like, where can people see it?
I'm uploading it as we speak to Amazon Prime, and that will be its home, the main home for it anyway. Yeah, Amazon Prime.
We're just having some problems with the new charging port. I'm sure it's going to be fixed in time now. Isn't that right, Tim?
After almost 30 years of work, we're in the final stages of the process, and you're telling me this now. Do not let me down, Jeff. We're at the final stages of what feels like a lifetime of work. Do not let me down.
Everything's going to be all right, isn't it, Tim? I mean, you're going to be the first.
I mean, you can definitely count the finishing of Project 444 as a massive success for GM Finney during lockdown. Can you guys give me any other kind of big successes that you guys have had, kind of individually or as GM Finney yourself?
On the 444, I did loads of work with the sound effects. I'm really impressed with the sound effects I put together. I thought I really had to pat myself on the back for that, and thought, oh, fucking hell, that's excellent. Oh, you got to watch it. It's awesome. It's a great film.
Project 444 is a really nice success as well because it's Mick's first acting role. Is that right?
Yes.
Very funny. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So and obviously Glennie and Tommy wrote it, and Phil's character in it is brilliant. So it's just such a special one, I think. And when we went into lockdown, like I wasn't in my head, I wasn't thinking about releasing it, and obviously just because everyone was so overwhelmed with everything. But it seemed like, looking at it now, it seems ridiculous that why wouldn't we? And that's really down to Glennie kind of pushing it and just saying, well, yeah, let's go for it. And then obviously the storyline is pretty on trend at the minute as well, because people not being able to go outside and it being a very different world. So yeah, it's just quite a special one. But yeah, I'm excited to see Mick acting as well.
You two are great. You're all great, actually. Me and Tommy were saying earlier on how great the cast did. You know, it was the first time I've seen James Kerr act, and he was brilliant. Tommy C is always brilliant, but he really excelled in this one. So
Tommy C is amazing.
It's just a great film.
Tommy C is like one of the main. He's such a main character. I think he really he kills it in this. Absolutely amazing.
He does. He does.
Bring in subject 201.
I think we had a couple of younger actors as well in it, didn't we? That and they kind of really committed to their, albeit short roles, they really committed to kind of playing those as well. And I think they really showed it how it kind of came off as well.
Yeah, it sounds really great, and I'm so looking forward to seeing it. Like, as soon as it's on Amazon, I mean, I'll definitely be watching it. But finally, just to kind of wrap things up, what kind of advice would you guys want to give to anyone creative, like during this time, or just in general, kind of once everything starts moving in a positive direction? What kind of advice would you give creatives?
I would say don't get too caught up if you can't do it, if you can't get somewhere, if you get writer's block, if you sit down to try and create something and it doesn't come, or if you find that you've got your time taken up by other things. Don't listen to all these lot around you saying, oh, we've got a load of time. Not everybody does, so don't worry about it.
To be fair to that, Mick, like, say everything's starting to ease a little bit now. Say that's been 3 months. You can't perfect a skill in 3 months. No one really can, unless it's something kind of minor. So yeah, I guess you shouldn't feel the pressure to make leaps and bounds in that short time. But equally, you can make quite a dent in learning a new skill in 3 months if you're really committed to it. But then you also find out during this time what you like and what you don't like.
Well, I think it's a really good sentiment to end on. So thank you guys so much for taking the time this evening to chat. I hope it's been enjoyable for you, as it has been for me. And we'll keep an eye out for Project 444 coming out on Amazon soon. And we'll see you then.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
Thanks,